I think he's doing something a little bit more diabolical, if I'm being honest. Representative Andy Ogles, a Republican of Tennessee, on January 23rd, just 3 days after Trump was inaugurated, already proposed amending the 22nd Amendment to allow Trump to serve a third term. I think he doesn't want to, he's not going to say that J.D. Vance is a successor because he thinks he's his own successor.
But doesn't that mean that Obama can run also?
Well, you would think so because part of the resolution says no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than 3 times.
What happens when a daytime talk show delves into complex global economics? Chaos, controversy, and a whole lot of drama. The View's recent meltdown over Donald Trump's tariffs on Mexico and Canada is a perfect example of how political discourse can spiral into unexpected territory. But what lies beneath the surface of their heated debate? Let's dive in. The stage was set for an explosive debate as The View's hosts tackled Trump's newly announced tariffs, a 25% levy on imports from Mexico and Canada. The hosts accused Trump of bullying America's allies while ignoring the broader economic implications. Joy Behar called it economic suicide, while Sunny Hostin argued that the move would alienate key trading partners. What they didn't discuss, however, was how these tariffs could reshape North American trade dynamics entirely. Critics argue that while Trump's strategy is aggressive, it forces neighboring countries to address issues like illegal immigration and drug trafficking, which have long strained U.S. Mexico relations. But the hosts weren't interested in nuance. This was personal. And the fireworks were just beginning. But then something unexpected happened.
Donald Trump won on the economy and immigration. That's what we keep saying. Those were the 2 leading things. We talked so much about, well, what happened? Why aren't the price of eggs getting better? This was the other part he promised, which was tariffs. So in some ways, sometimes you get what you voted for, which is the people that voted for him, he told us this was going to happen. And he won anyone making under $50,000. He won in.
Amid the fiery discussion, Sunny Hostin made a surprising endorsement of RFK Jr., praising his critique of Trump while dismissing his controversial past. This move backfired spectacularly as her typically supportive audience erupted into boos. For a show known for its liberal-leaning base, this moment highlighted growing divisions even within their audience. The incident exposed a deeper issue, the fracturing of political unity among progressives. Hostin, visibly stunned, tried to recover by doubling down on her stance, but the damage was done. This wasn't just a moment of embarrassment. It was a microcosm of the broader ideological rifts tearing through American politics. And then Ana Navarro took things to another level. Ana Navarro decided to make things personal, claiming Trump's tariffs would lead to skyrocketing prices for tequila and avocados, 2 staples she jokingly said she couldn't live without. While her comments drew laughter from the audience, critics quickly pounced on her for perpetuating stereotypes about Mexican imports. Beyond the humor, Navarro inadvertently highlighted a real concern, how tariffs could impact everyday Americans' wallets. From auto parts to agricultural goods, these tariffs threaten to disrupt supply chains and increase costs for consumers across the board. Navarro may have been joking, but her comments underscored the tangible consequences of trade wars.
People with the least, the people that will feel this the most. Sonny, you speak of your $5, now $10 cup of metaphorical coffee.
What about your eggs?
Well, the eggs. But my point here is that
eggs are so
the
expensive,
people,
we're going to have to cut our potatoes.
Everyone is going to feel this. But there's a lot of people, I would argue, at this table who are going to feel it less.
Yeah. Yes.
The people that put him into office and voted for this were warned in bold letters this was what he was going to do, and he's doing it.
But this wasn't just about food and drink. The conversation shifted to immigration policy, with The View's hosts lambasting Trump for his hardline stance. However, critics were quick to point out the hypocrisy in their arguments. While Democrats often champion immigrant rights publicly, they've been accused of exploiting migrant labor behind closed doors, benefiting from cheap labor while maintaining moral superiority in public discourse. This contradiction has fueled skepticism about their sincerity on immigration reform. The View's discussion failed to address these complexities, opting instead for blanket condemnation of Trump's policies without acknowledging their party's own shortcomings. And then came one of the most pressing issues. The fentanyl crisis took center stage as the hosts debated whether Trump's tariffs could pressure Mexico into taking stronger action against drug cartels. With fentanyl overdoses reaching record highs in the U.S., many argue that Mexico must do more to curb production and trafficking across its borders. However, critics warn that tariffs alone won't solve this complex issue. They risk straining diplomatic relations further without addressing root causes like corruption and poverty in Mexico.
The View is so bad now that the other day I was watching it and thinking to myself, you know what? They really need to bring Rosie O'Donnell back That show is bad. Those people are bad. I know every one of them, and they are bad news, I want to tell you. And it doesn't do very well either. I always like to say, ratings are very important. When they don't do well, it doesn't do very well.
The View touched on these points but failed to delve deeper into how U.S. Mexico cooperation could be improved beyond punitive measures. And then Sunny Hostin made another blunder. During her critique of Trump's tariffs, Sunny Hostin claimed that a 25% tariff would double the price of imported goods, a statement quickly ridiculed by economists for its inaccuracy. Tariffs don't work that way. They increase costs incrementally rather than doubling them outright. This gaffe became fodder for critics who accuse The View of spreading misinformation under the guise of informed commentary. It also raised questions about whether daytime talk shows are equipped to handle complex economic topics without misleading their audience. But The View isn't just a talk show. It's something more insidious. Critics argue that The View has evolved from lighthearted daytime entertainment into a platform for political propaganda disguised as casual conversation. By presenting one-sided narratives and vilifying opposing viewpoints, the show risks radicalizing its audience rather than informing them. This episode exemplified how media outlets can shape public opinion through selective framing and emotional appeals rather than balanced analysis. And it doesn't stop there. The influence of legacy media extends far beyond The View itself. Mainstream networks amplify its rhetoric, creating an echo chamber that reinforces biased narratives on a national scale. This phenomenon isn't unique to one side of the political spectrum. It happens across ideological divides. But it raises important questions about media accountability in an era where misinformation spreads faster than ever before. And then came an unexpected analogy. One guest likened Trump's tariff strategy and its portrayal by shows like The View to principles from The Art of War. Understanding your opponent and controlling narratives are key tactics in any conflict, whether military or political. By framing Trump as reckless and unhinged without acknowledging potential strategic motives behind his actions, critics argue that media outlets play directly into his hands by underestimating him. But there's an even greater danger lurking beneath all this. The episode concluded with a warning about woke ideology and its potential to undermine democracy by promoting division and radicalization through platforms like The View.
One lie that CNN did not bring up is the $18 to $20 million black jobs that have been taken. Where are these black jobs, and what are the black jobs? Where do I apply? I would like to know if there is a special bank of jobs for black anchors and black federal prosecutors that I can apply for. So when
You have a job.
no, but when someone lies like that, how do I respond to the lie with a fact?
By prioritizing identity politics over substantive debate, critics argue that such narratives distract from pressing issues like economic inequality and systemic corruption, issues that affect all Americans, regardless of political affiliation. The View's meltdown over Trump's tariffs was more than just daytime drama. It was a microcosm of America's polarized political landscape and the challenges facing media accountability in today's world. As viewers, we must question not only what we're being told, but also what we're not being told, and why.